Hello everyone and welcome to Power Playground. This is your host Michael, and today I'm showing you a DIY project idea I have for building tables with some, basically these are countertops that I found on a junk day just on the side of the road near someone's house. They're not like marble or anything, they're just like, your standard particle board wood, but they are free. And I have about 4 of them lined up here, and I want to create basically just a nice workbench. So I'm going to buy some 2x4s and stuff here shortly at Lowe's. Now what I want to do with this particular table is I want to design it to be around about standing height. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark up the measurement I have with my my adjustable desk I have over here. So I have a little crank handle. Let me slide it on the tripod so I can stick the camera in a static angle. There we go. So I just have this nice little crank handle. This is I had the desk service before. This is one of my older desks, but I just bought the legs from Amazon. They're about like $180 or so, pretty good deal. So when you are assembling a standing height desk, you want it to be where your arm is about, I'd say around 6 or so inches at elbow lengths here. So just, I'd say a couple inches higher than this would be good. So for me, I'm gonna say just another little markup. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so this is a pretty decent standing desk height, and of course, if you do want to use your chair, make sure it's decent enough. I might go for something in the middle, just so I can use this chair. Let me see, is this max height? Yeah. Alright, so maybe a little bit lower. Not an ultimate standing desk, mind, but pretty close. Actually, what I might do is do like a split height, where some are standing, because I do have 4 of these. I actually do have 6 total, but 2 of them don't really match. They're different colors. So yeah, basically, let's point you down. Yeah, so these 2 over here, let me get you in a little closer. Sorry about the poor light. Yeah, if you can see, some of these aren't really cut all that well, so I kind of had to flip them around, but this one's kind of the odd one out. So in order to give myself a little less work, I'm just going to switch these 2 around, make these standing, make those regular height, and just like get them really close to each other. Another thing I want to do is that bottom lip area, I want to put like a 2x4, some small piece of wood, and then another lip, so I can have like a little hardware tray just to keep like loose hardware and stuff, which I plan on using these desks for assembling like things like those 3D printer kits over there and other types of things, just because my workshop really isn't big enough for it. I'm mainly want to use my workshop area just to like do modifications and other things. Probably just have the post-processing station be in there for my 3D prints. Let's see, let's go ahead and get our sitting height measurement back here. Something about 32 inches. Let's go back to our standing height again. So about 40 inches for the standing. So now we have our measurements. Let's go ahead and transition to the drawing table where I'm going to show you all how everything will line up. Alright folks, so forgive the bit of hectic lighting here, working on modifying my lighting rig a bit for this particular set, plus this set is temporary, so, So here's the, basically the cross section of it here. What we have is we have a couple of 2x4s, 31 inches in height, because the desk height is about 1 inch, so that'll make up for the added 32 sitting height. And then of course the this little cross beam inside, that'll be 20 inches because of the 2x4 sizings. Those will go all the way up. And then there are going to be to hold all of the different frame pieces together, because there will be 3 and each for 2 of these desk surfaces, 1 for the middle, 2 for the sides. We're going to just have some long sections of 2x4, 67 inch and 65.5 inch respectively for the different surfaces. So essentially we're just going to have like about 3 of these pieces, or really 6 total of these, and then we're going to have 6 of these 2x4s, of course, 2 sets of 3, and the 67 and 65.5 variety to tack these 3 cross sections together here. And then of course these will attach to the desk, and I will probably get some I probably won't get 2x4s for this, but I'll get like a thinner, probably more finer wood to do this. I might be able to find something a little better for this task, but yeah, I just want to get 2 pieces of wood just to get like a little lip, as well as just like a little section, just enough to just big enough to put screws in, so I can just have like a little hardware thing just to catch any sort of rolling off hardware. And I might also get some other pieces of wood just to like block off the sides so that nothing really rolls off the desk, just like creating a perfect little workspace. So there's a good little idea there, just brainstormed. So I'm going to try to find some lumber for a decent price and find enough 2x4s. And of course, like I said, I will put out the measurements in the description for the 2x4s and the cut list for the 2x4s. Quick little update from Lowe's parking lot. Got 11 2x4s and some other small 8-foot lengths of wood through my Toyota Corolla. Yeah, that'll work. I'll be able to cart these at home. So you can definitely do these projects if you have a standard car like I do. You just have to limit yourself to 8-foot boards. Alright, well, back to the shop. Alright, let's go ahead and grab our cut list. I'll put the link in the description, like I said, for the cuts, as well as this cool website that lets you generate these cool cut lists here. So, went ahead and picked up this circular saw. It's actually my grandparents' here, so just gonna use that to cut our sections of plywood we have here. So, just gonna go ahead and set up the camera and cut these out. Alright, got all the wood cut up here, so now I need to go ahead and start assembling the frame pieces. That'll be excluding the long pieces because that'll just be like the cross frame pieces. And of course we're just going to be making those square frame dealies there. So just going to go ahead and get all of those assembled now. Okay, so got all 6 of these guys done. Now what I have to do is I have to line them up over near where we have our cabinet tops over there. And of course I am going to go ahead and put the cross braces in for each individual table set. So of course there'll be 3 of these guys, and somewhere along the middle will be one of the, they'll just basically these pieces of wood each, there won't really be one in the front bottom, but there'll be one in the front top and 2 in the back, up in top and bottom. So I'll go ahead and show you all the little assembly for that guy here once I get everything lined up. Alright, so got the table pretty much built here, at least one of the 2 tables. Still have the other one I need to assemble, although I think I might be running out of screws, unfortunately, so might have to go back to the hardware store before I can do that. Now there is a couple more steps I need to do. One, I need to actually secure the countertops. Right now I just have them mocked up. I might have accidentally not lined up the middle part correctly. I think I just need to move this little middle piece over here. As you can see, these screws aren't really going to be able to go up into this properly to secure it, so that'll be a little bit of an issue. So I'm going to have to probably just move that over just a tidge bit. No big deal, not the end of the world, but a little bit of pain, unfortunately. Another thing, of course, I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding like a little tray in the side. I may also add some little skirts in the side as well, at least on the extreme sides, just to keep things from rolling off the desk unnecessarily. And of course, that little tray at the bottom will be for hardware and stuff when I'm assembling kits and doing all sorts of cool DIY projects. So I'm going to go ahead and get that moved, and then I'm going to secure these babies down and I'll show you all what's next. There we go, folks. Got both of the desk sets taken care of here now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make the ledges as well as the hardware trays. So that's basically going to measure from each side. I don't know. I think I might do 3 pieces, like 3 little borders here, more or less. Make like 2 separate workstations. I'm not 100% sure. Just or I might just group 2 of these or both of these together and just have one whole unit. Not 100% on that, but definitely going to have some like little skirting on both sides so nothing really falls off the edges, as well as just have that little hardware like little slot at the bottom here. I'll show you all in a moment. But yep, everything's pretty much done. Of course, I just have the countertops. They're secured by a screw on every corner. So this surface, as you can see, there's like a big old bump right here. I need to get rid of this like section that they probably were going to cut off but didn't. And then also, so essentially with these side mounts, I mount them to the side of this particular countertop. And what I did was I pre-drilled pilot screws. I think it's like a 7/64 drill bit with these number 8 2-inch screws that I'm using here, and that yeah, it came out pretty good. I don't see any issues. Of course, I'll show you all better when we get better lighting here. Well, let me go ahead and, yeah, there we go. So you can see a little better. As I said, yep, just pre-pilot drilled these and just attached them to the side of the actual countertops themselves rather than the 2x4s, just because countertops are just a little bit jagged. I think these are just offcuts, I guess. Or if at least that's what it seems. So I'm going to go ahead and use my little oscillating tool just to even out that in there, so we'll be good to go. So I got these 2 borders on each side. Now, as you can see, there is a noticeable gap. It's really hard to close this off just because of where the 2x4s are touching. I might be able to get it in just a little bit closer, so I'm going to try that first. And if that fails, I'm probably going to have to... well, first I'm going to trim this piece off. I might trim this piece up here, which is probably causing the gapping issue. So if I trim them down, maybe I might be able to get the needed clearance, but I'm not too certain just because the 2x4s are pretty close to each other. So, but yeah, if I can't make it to the size of these other gaps where so you can barely tell, I'm probably just going to cut or rip cut another one of these 24 or 2-foot sections here and just put it along the middle, which shouldn't be too bad. Alright, so snug these up, and there still was a noticeable gap, but unfortunately it wasn't consistent. So the front of it's fine, but the back of it still is a considerable gap. So next best thing, I use some good old gaff tape. This is some like pretty non-textured stuff, pretty regular, so not too bad. It's passable. It will get the job done for sure. So I might go ahead and just do it on all the sides, just so like small little washers and things won't get caught in the middle. Alright, so got this little catch installed here. Now, one thing I do want to recommend is if you are using like C-clamps or these types of weird clamps like this, I forgot the name, like vice grip clamps, is if you are having grip issues, just stick a bit of gaff tape on your surface, because these cabinets are a bit slippery. Now I'm just going to run little channels on the sides as well as just on the edge here. Just going to get some square, I have like some square dowel rods, and I'm just going to tack nail them on there on the ends. Got the actual bit, or the hardware trough, as I'm calling it, taken care of. So got the ends all, I got the dowel rods, basically just tack nailed these in here. I did have to pilot drill just some tiny little holes like with one of my smaller drill bits, just to get everything to fit right, or at least the nails to go in right, just because I'm not the best nailer. But one thing I did is another good function for gaff tape is this nice little like pull apart like access. So I just sawed off a little piece. I didn't want to tack this down in case I had like a bunch of washers or something that were a pain to actually pick up. So I can just like slide clean this out easily by just just pulling this guy back. So another cool little use for gaffer's tape, at least. So there we go, folks. That's going to be about it for today's video. I hope you all liked this, and if you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Give the thumbs up and subscribe and all that good stuff, and have a great day.